So we are finally here at the end of this campaign. Let's go 5 more years and figure out who has won this game. And currently there are only 2 wars going on, just to kind of throw out a brief reminder as we wrap up this campaign. That is the Arabian Empire versus England, pretty much. The Arabian allies, Morocco and Persia, joining in together to fight off the English colonies, but still nothing much there. Arabia seems to be winning this war. Babylon is pushing back against the Ottomans. No, not so good. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The Arabians are not winning that war at negative 24 war score. Babylon is not winning their war as of right now either. Assyria is trying to help out Babylon, but it's not really going so well. So anyways, let's go ahead and boost it up to speed 4, see what happens. Cannot wait to see exactly how this campaign comes to a close. Very, very excited. I've had a really fun time with, and I knew it was going to be fun. I knew that this campaign was going to be much different than the EU4, I'm sorry, the Civ 5 AI only battles, because this is EU4. It's a much more complicated game, as well as much more dynamic colonial system and revolutionary system. I'm surprised that we didn't see any sort of like a revolutionary France or anything like that. Very shocked that we didn't see more of that. But they do have a more dynamic religious system. I do like that there's like a base tax value involved in certain regions, you know, like where Europe is very rich. And, you know, I liked the traditional aspect of this. Like, I always try to gear the Civ 5 AI only battles to have some sort of a traditional feel to it, you know, where the Europeans, the Western Europeans, colonize much of the New World. Like, whenever we play on a world map, like, that's what I would like to see. I'd like to see some historical things play out. And it's nice to see in this campaign that actually happened. This has obviously been the most historical of all. We have even the Europeans rushing over towards, you know, the Pacific, the South Pacific. I mean, even Madagascar. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not 100% on what the history of Madagascar is, but it is pretty cool. Like, I don't know, I just like Madagascar, the look of it. English, northern Madagascar under English control, southern Madagascar under French control. So I don't know. And we have the Netherlands controlling like a huge chunk of Asia here, a huge chunk of Southeast Asia. So that also helps. So pretty much, I will say it's probably going to come down to William versus Napoleon. I have no idea where Persia is when we look at the score at the very end, and I am going to look at the score. I know some of you guys wanted me to look at army sizes. I think I touched upon this. Army sizes, that's not a good way to look at it at all. I guess if we looked at force limit, that would work. But like army sizes as of 1821, that's not really fair, because someone with a huge army might have just gotten out of a battle, and obviously that would be unfair to, you know, to not give them first place, because maybe if we would have looked at force limit, that's not a bad idea. But, you know, for this one, we're going to look at score, because honestly, it's a little bit too complicated. There's a little bit too many categories, and at the end of the day, I think that score, I'll double check over the break, or at least when I end this video, to see exactly if we would have done the categories, if whatever country would have won, if the first place country, if they still would have won through categories. So what do we got? We've got a new war, Rome, Mexico, looking like they're going for their independence for Rome, and Canada's joined in, helping them out. New Rome and Rome and Louisiana, all helping out. France, of course, is bringing down their allies, which, remember, France controls a huge chunk of South America right now. Pretty big chunk of northern South America, I guess. They also have France, Mexico, and California and stuff like that, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Seems like, let's look at this visually. Not bad. I mean, because Canada's there, they can maybe help them out. Yeah, you know what? They should be able to help. I think with Canada, if Canada does in fact get involved, then they'll be okay. It also depends on how heavily France gets involved, because remember, France has a huge navy as well. But we will double check, and you know, I'll probably, instead of doing it over the break, we'll check score. And then we will check also like force limit, like army sizes and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not like the all-telling purpose. That's like we're not going to give a victory away to someone who has the biggest force limit for their land units or their land regiments, or same thing goes for Navy. That just doesn't seem right. Score seems the most balanced. I think when we flesh out the idea for maybe possibly a second AL only battle. If you guys want to see that in EU4, please leave me a comment section below. Let me know, because I'm not sure if you guys wanted to see this. I know the Civ 5 campaign has always been a little bit more popular, but there are definitely some people that like the EU4 campaign a bit more. But we'll see. I mean, it all depends on what you guys want. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna do this one on score. Ooh, there's a 3-star general somehow that France Mexico has under their control. That is pretty awesome. And Canada here is already, oh yeah, boom. They've already sieged out California and French Mexico, so that's gone. Those guys are goners. Probably still to this day, one of the most entertaining moments has been Canada taking so much land from the USA. One of the most, I don't know, I don't know. Civ 5 is just such a different game compared to EU4, so you don't see the same storylines exactly. Like, that was so interesting to see the USA halted the independence for Canada. I think it was twice. I think Canada, like, pretty much got in the way of Canada's independence of the Celts 2 times. And I remember, like, a lot of people in the comment section very frustrated, those of you that were rooting for Canada, very frustrated. And even I, just wanting to see more independence nations, were frustrated. And it was just so interesting to see Canada... No, and remember, actually, it was a third offensive war by the USA. They declared on Canada. Canada brought in their ally of Louisiana in the west, and they just pushed back the USA. And it was just crazy, because then they decided to take all this land away in a defensive war. Very, very strange. So I don't know if they're going to be able to get their independence in 3 years. Actually, yeah, I mean, they're going to need to peace out in 3 years, but maybe last minute we might see a free Mexico by 1820. We've got a free USA and a free Canada. Maybe Mexico's next. We'll have to wait and see. Remember, it wouldn't just be Mexico either. It would be actually quite a bit. It looks like it would be also New Rome and Rome in Louisiana. But that's where they need to worry about. See, New Rome is here. It is on the East Coast, so it would be pretty easy for France to just kind of come on by and drop off some units. But then again, oh yeah, look, boom, there's Rome. Rome's doing it right now. France not doing it. It's just, yeah. So that's really, really not good. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen there. Ooh, and France has even made a landing into Canada. So even though they might have the war score as of right now, it probably is not going to happen. Assyria has peaced out, so Babylon is in a war alone against the Ottomans, the Austrians, and Riga. Not too good of a situation. Yeah, war score is significantly falling. We will not see an independent Mexico, I don't believe. Anyways, can't wait to see who the winner is. Again, the top 3, just to kind of remind everybody, it's going to be between Persia, France, and the Netherlands, very clearly. Now, I think if the campaign continued onward, I think we would have seen eventually Persia pass the Europeans up. It was very, very close, as well as the Netherlands grabbing this territory was so crucial. Like, I really don't think that William would be as powerful on the score list if he hadn't grabbed all these lands in Southeast Asia. If this had gone to Darius of Persia, oh man, I think easily he would have won. Because these are really, really good base tax provinces. Economic map mode, I mean, this is all down here, very kind of green and coastal green here in eastern China. This would have given Persia significantly more power, even if they didn't reach all the way down here. Just Persia grabbing like these coasts here, these coastal provinces, would have been a big deal. Very big deal. Japan is looking cool. Love that Zulu control most of Japan here. France even controlling a weird part of southern Korea. And Egypt has fully colonized Siberia. So shocked that someone like Spain or Alaska or Oregon... I know that Alaska can't technically colonize this, but still, I'm just shocked that no one from Europe decided to go and grab that land. So this has been a really interesting campaign, to say the least. I've very much enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Looks like we are on, I think, our last year. Oh, did they already peace out? No, it's still going on. Babylon peaced out. I'm wondering if the Ottomans took a bunch of land from Babylon. No, they didn't, actually. Oh, that was nice of the Ottomans, not to take too much away. I don't think they lost really anything. Maybe they did. They might have lost a little bit, but that could have been from a long time ago. Let's double check on that. Province history. Okay, well, oh, that was liberated by an enemy occupation. But anyways, Greece had an unfortunate game. Florence did too. See, the Central Europe really didn't do so well, and I kind of should have guessed that. They had to colonize faster, and this... If we were to do something like this scenario again, which we probably wouldn't for a while, because obviously we just did it, so we have to come back to it, not for a while. But we would need to give more space for Central Europe and I guess if we were to choose anybody else, the Zulu are in an unfortunate spot. We probably shouldn't include the Zulu because there's just so much wasteland. But then again, I think some people were giving me suggestions to not include wasteland in the next one. That's probably a pretty good idea. I think that things would have been fine. There still would have been regions to colonize. I think that my prediction was true. Every single province has been colonized, surprisingly enough. Sweden has done a really good job of colonizing most of northern Asia here, except for obviously the part where Egypt grabbed a hold of. Now, I'm not exactly sure. Oh, there it is. Bam. Okay, so let's go ahead and double check on the, we actually might need to... How do we check the ledger, actually? Oh my gosh, I've never tried to check the ledger before. Okay, I'm gonna make a cut here. I'll be right back. So here we are 2 days before the end of the game. I had no idea the game ended on January 3rd. But yeah, we are on January 1st, 1821. Let's go ahead and double check the score comparison and figure out who has won this campaign. So we're going to see colonies in the very beginning, as well as, I think, nations that have been eliminated, right? Oh, I'm sorry. So wait, who is this? If I scroll over it, Peru, Rome, Louisiana, California, France, Mexico, Florida, New Rome, France, Peru, France, Colombia, and Rome, Mexico. They are scoring 0. They never gained their independence. I really thought they would. I thought we'd see way more independences in this game, as well as I thought we'd see more personal unions. Every single campaign I played on myself doing tests, by myself is what I mean, doing tests, there were always personal unions, and I'm shocked that we didn't see any of those. So anyways, let's go ahead and check on people who actually scored. We have the French Australia pretty much. They even got 12 points. I don't know how, because I don't think they're technically a colony, right? I'm not 100% on that, but anyways, Louisiana did okay. They managed to get up there, I guess. England's Louisiana. I don't know, how did these colonies get into? I don't know how they got score. Maybe because I'm not sure. So don't even got score, surprisingly enough. Maybe it's because they were independent for a little bit. Some of these colonies weren't independent at all. I have no idea. Anyways, let's just go to Babylon. Wow, so look at the USA. So it's something to keep in mind, that if a nation doesn't, well, you know, the USA were pretty small at the end. I'm sure Canada's probably much more powerful. That's probably explains why they have such low score. Portugal, yeah, Portugal had a tough time. The Huns, they've been eliminated. We haven't even gotten to anybody that's around. Here we go. Brazil, 385, still pretty shocking, pretty shockingly low. The Celts down there too. Spain, Mexico. Florence, oh, Florence, you're a winner in all of our hearts, buddy. Canada right above Florence, about 200 points above. Okay, so now we're getting to the thousands. Now we're getting to the Byzantium Empire. So the Byzantium Empire had a very tough time with rebels, as well as they were being kind of shut out from their colonization of the East every single time. I mean, honestly, Byzantium shouldn't even have been able to colonize. The fact that their sheer strength of colonizing the Eastern Black Sea was pretty, I don't know, commendable. I'm very proud that they were able to make something do with the best of their situation. So good for them. The Greeks did an okay job, barely, actually significantly stronger than the Byzantium Empire. How did that even happen? That's shocking, because Byzantium controls a huge portion all the way out to the east, where the Greek is just here. The Greece Empire is just stuck here in, modern Greece. Surprising. Riga did okay. Austria, yeah, they had a tough time. Songhai, surprised they didn't do better. Arabia, Carthage, the Germans, Morocco, the Ottomans, Rome. England, man, England had a tough time, and honestly, England did a really good job in the very beginning. One, they needed to destroy the Celts. If they destroyed the Celts, they would have been okay, as well as, they lost their huge colonies, and that was pretty much what, just that was the nail in the coffin right there, because they lost Brazil and they lost the USA when the USA controlled much more territory. They probably would have been in the top 5, at least top 3 maybe, but they lost those huge colonies, and then they never were able to destroy the Celts, so that was the biggest downfall. Sweden's pretty low on the list too, surprisingly enough. Shocked that they kind of didn't have more power than they look like they have a lot of power, but they just didn't. The Zulu actually managed to get more score than Sweden. Wow. Well, good for the Zulu, because I talked about how the Zulu had a tough time, but I guess not. They didn't have as tough a time as we thought. Sorry, I had to put a cut there. I hit the wrong button. So Poland was a big powerhouse in the very beginning, but yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess they didn't focus on war too much. They were focusing on the Huns. They did destroy the Huns. They continued to focus on the northern territories of the Black Sea, but that really didn't work. So I don't know. It's too bad for Poland, but they really could have. It looked like they were going to win the game. I thought they were going to win the game. Venice did a good job because they controlled the Venetian trade node, and they were a really, really good trade empire. Russia, surprisingly, did really good for their spot, significantly stronger than Sweden. I wonder what would have happened if they actually controlled all the Swedish territories up over this way. Spain now. Okay, so let's kind of scroll up. Assyria and Spain. Spain did a good job with their colonization, as well as Spain controlled all of Iberia. But surprisingly enough, Assyria in the Middle East, they had a lot of base tax. What can you say? They had a lot of base tax. Okay, so Egypt. So this is definitely the top 4 and 3. Egypt got the 4th place spot. I cannot believe that. That came out of nowhere. I guess they controlled a lot of really valuable provinces in the subcontinent of India, as well as obviously Egyptian territory. Very good for Ramses. Persia looks like they got 3rd place. They were never able to catch up. So this is it. This is to decide who is the winner of this EU4, our first ever EU4 AI only campaign. When we figure out who's in second place, we will know who's in first place. Let's check it out. And boom, the Netherlands have gotten second place, which means that France has gotten first. Congratulations for all of those commenters who picked France. Very good job. Very close. I mean, really, any one of these nations you should be proud of. Egypt, Persia, Netherlands, or France. If you picked Egypt, honestly, you deserve a pat on the back because that is incredible. I don't know how that was possible. They were probably the biggest underdog of all. Assyria even, but Assyria was almost 3,000 points behind the Egyptians. Egypt was able to manage to get up 10,000 points, which is amazing. But France solidified their victory. Remember, they were only like a few hundred points behind. William was only a few hundred points behind. I'm not exactly sure what happened. France never lost any of their colonies, and that helped out, I'm thinking, a lot. But I don't know. I mean, clearly the Netherlands were gaining. Actually, a lot of the nations at the top were probably getting more score per month than France was, but I don't know, pretty incredible. And like I said, briefly, we will check the armies to see who was able to get up the highest force limit by the end of it. It was Persia. Then it was the Netherlands. France was actually pretty low here, 134. But dang, Persia had a huge military. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for navies. Force limit for navies, it was actually France. Okay, so that makes them a little bit stronger, but wow, only one ship behind, technically force limit size, which William could have kept up if he actually really wanted to. He could have kept up with Napoleon's navy. Pretty incredible stuff there. I don't think that there is really anything else that we should check on. Maybe forts, the fort map mode, I'm sorry. I don't know why I couldn't say that. The religious map mode will be good too. Let's go and double check on that. Bunch of Catholic Orthodox has been spread. Shia is probably the biggest I've ever seen it in an EU4 campaign because obviously Assyria and Persia was spreading that. Reformed has cut through the middle of North America. We have probably among the biggest trade node was, what was it? It wasn't the English trade node, right? I know that 49.7 was pretty good. Yeah, Alexandria. That is why Egypt was so dominant, because they had control over Alexandria, which is really incredible. But besides that, Alexandria was the main. I mean, that's the thing. All these Eastern Asian regions, they were just being shifted back towards the homeland, back towards either Western Asia or Europe or Africa. So pretty incredible stuff there. I don't think there's anything else. Let's kind of double check on cultural map mode. I don't think that's a bunch of Greek. Wow. Holy moly. Look at all this Greek culture here. That's pretty interesting. I'm glad that I did double check on that. Dutch in South America, English, Castilian. Yeah, you can't really tell much by the technological map mode. Colonial map mode, unrest, doesn't really matter there. Buildings map mode, players map mode, winter, climates, colonial regions. We've already seen the economic map mode. That doesn't really change too much. Simple terrain, forts, local autonomy, trade goods, and trade company. Yep, nope, nothing else. Pretty interesting match, guys. I'm so happy that this campaign is over. It's really been a fun ride. It's really been a fun ride, and I have noticed, I think that my only complaint is I think we need to figure out a way to make it EU4 AI only is very up and down, where there's things going on. There are some things that crazy things are going on, and then there's just absolutely nothing that's going on. There's got to be something in the middle. I guess the same could be technically said for Civ 5, but EU4 is much more of a war game, I would say. So it's still entertaining watching peace times in Civ 5 than EU4. I personally believe, as a commentator, it's easier to commentate for Civ 5 peacetime rather than EU4 peacetime because there's just nothing going on. This is a map, paint your map like game here. So when there's no wars, there's really kind of nothing going on. But we'll see. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys want to see another campaign of an AI only in EU4. Congratulations for all of you guys that picked France, and I will leave a shout out slideshow sort of thing at the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next time.